Orla Jareni pilots her starcraft patrolling the Soola System. She reports back to the starlight beacon, giving the system an all-clear of any Nihil activity. Just then, the warning systems of her ship turns red. With sirens blaring, she picks up a Nihil ship on her scanners. From behind, a stormship zooms into position, lasers firing. The shooting finds its mark, hitting an engine. Aboard the Nihil ship, a strike turns to ask for orders when it's revealed that Trennis, dressed in Nihil armor and war paint, is the perpetrator behind the attack. We cut back in time as the Jedi aboard the Starlight Beacon are conversing with Jedi Master Stellan Gios about the recent victories against the Nihil. The conversation then turns to the question of who is the Eye of the Nihil. With Lourna Dee presumed to be dead, there are questions of who is the current leader. There are a number of possible candidates. Among them is Tempest Ashas Rine and a mysterious individual, but the information is limited, and without more clarity, the Jedi are not sure how and where to act. After Chris steps up and offers a solution, the Starlight's chief of security has received intel that the Nihil are gathering in the Soola System, but Stellan points out that the area has been swept several times. Master Chris interjects scathingly, pointing out the same lack of diligence of those same sweeps in Velo that failed to prevent the massacre. Unsatisfied with Stellan's response, she proposes a team of Jedi to follow Chief Tarpeen's lead, only for Stellan to refuse this request. KEEVE stands up angrily. She points out the fact that the Nihil have been the ones planting the Drengir around the galaxy, causing thousands of deaths which preoccupied the Jedi on the Starlight Beacon and prevented a response to the crisis on Velo, which is why the Jedi needed to act now. But Stellan remains unconvinced. Instead, he orders the Jedi to await further instructions from the Council and not to run off on their own. And with that, the hologram fizzles shut. KEEVE, angry at Gios' response, causes an outburst and promptly storms out of the meeting. Cut back to the present day, a dogfight occurs between the Wayseeker and the Nihil, when all of a sudden the Ataraxia exits hyperspace in support of their fellow Jedi. KEEVE looks down at her panel and immediately sends out a distress call to any nearby Nihil forces. The Ataraxia releases vectors, with Skir leading the way. As the vectors close in on KEEVE, nearby more Nihil ships enter the fray, answering KEEVE's distress call. Just as it does, KEEVE finds a vector in her sights and open fires, causing the vector to explode. There is a sudden heavy screech of metal as another Nihil ship mag clamps KEEVE's ship, and with that the Nihil escape into hyperspace. The Jedi left behind all can't help but wonder if they have succeeded in their mission or not. Chris looks out into space, praying that the Force will protect Tarek and KEEVE. We cut back briefly to when KEEVE was still on the Starlight Beacon. Skir advises her on her previous outburst before continuing that the Marshal wants to speak with her regarding a little special idea. As KEEVE and Tarek touch down, a large Nihil stands in their way, demanding to know which Tempest they are from, to which KEEVE responds with Eta, the Tempest that was presumed to be dead after Lourna Dee and Martian betrayed him. But still unconvinced, the Nihil lashes out with a light whip, striking her. KEEVE grabs hold of it and flings him to the ground, and then she winds the rope tightly around his neck, choking him. From behind, a voice calls out, affirming that she is indeed from Pan's Tempest, and from behind Zetar emerges in his suit, demanding she let go of the Nihil. Zetar leans forward and says he must be sure that she is a Nihil. He then hands her a hammer and reaches an arm out behind him, demanding the prisoner to be brought in. KEEVE's eyes widen as it is revealed that Miarca the Hutt has been captured. And so that is what happened in issue 9 of the High Republic. I have to say, I really love this issue. It really gives us a lot of insight as to how the Jedi Order is slowly being splintered into two, with some Jedi disagreeing with the Council. Not to mention, with KEEVE infiltrating the ranks of the Nihil, this should promise us some really intriguing situations, where KEEVE may have to just compromise the Jedi's philosophy in order to remain undercover, and this may very well lead her to brush with the dark side. The twist with Miarga at the end gets me super excited for the next issue, and I'm really unsure as to whether or not she will go through with it or how she might get out of it. This arc is going to be a really exciting arc, so be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to follow. As always, I am the Lost Acolyte,
and I have spoken.